I want to say this for the council members who have served this last 4 years. Just as I said with the chief, whenever you decide to take leadership and to serve, it takes much sacrifice. It takes much dedication. And I thank each and every one of those council representatives, although they're not retaining their seat no longer, they have made their mark in the area of the history of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. For you see, throughout this year, some history has taken place. Not only with the challenges we had with the pandemic, but also with the Seminole Nation reservation deemed never to have established. How about that? April 1st of 2021. So it is historical times, ladies and gentlemen. It is historical times. So I want the incoming council to repeat this oath of office. When I say I, you repeat your name. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of council representative and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. You are duly sworn in as the General Counsel of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. Let's give them a hand if you would. Please take your seats. I want to clear something before that we continue on. There was an issue with trying to get some of the incoming council who were not in the primary general election, but were duly elected by their bands and their specific band meetings. Some of the things that were required for certification of those particular representatives to be able to keep their seats was not finally done. But there's something that's going to be used today that has not been used in my 25 years of service to the Seminole Nation. It's Article 4 of the Constitution. It's also stating in Article 4 of the Constitution about the bands. It says all band representatives of the General Council shall be elected to serve a term of 4 years or until their successors have been duly elected and installed. So that's the portion that those that were also approved by their bands and their specific band elections, but also are successing or succeeding themselves in the position of a council representative with those specific bands. They are seated here with us today because of that provision of the Constitution, which our forefathers thought of, perhaps never used, but we're using it in 2021, and I'm glad that it's in there for us to be able to do that. That is Chiyaha Band, and that is Thiwathli Band, who one of the representatives is actually via the Ring Central, and I believe that actually Sina had actually got hers certified, and I received the band minutes as well as the certification from the election board. And they were able to do that. So I was glad they were able to get that done for the Miccosukee Band. So today, we're going to go on with the business of the Seminole Nation, and we have an agenda that's before us. Representative Cootie.
Everybody to keep April Hargill in prayer. She's in hospice right now. I spoke to her and
Representative Cootie said keep April Harjo in your prayers. She's on hospice now. So we all know who April is. So you go to your private prayer closet make sure that you offer prayers and comfort for the family during this time of hardship. Representative Narcomi.
Yes, before we move into business for today, I'd like to
What Ms. Narcomi is requesting is that other business be added to the agenda.
yes,
Is there any objections to other business being added to the agenda?
it is my understanding that we have a couple of new resolutions that probably could be discussed, so I'm just asking if we could add other business.
Okay, other business. Representative Harjo.
Our band has gotten word of this other business that has not been placed on the actual agenda. And for the fact that we had a meeting on Wednesday and it was the day before it came out and we were unable to present it to our band. So in that aspect, let me just go ahead and clarify that we are not opposed to these resolutions. However, because it was not brought to our band, I am taking this time to object, so we probably need to go to a vote.
Okay, is there a motion to go into other business to be placed on the agenda? There's a motion by Representative Narcomi. There's a second by Representative Fulbright. Secretary, can you hear me well? Secretary?
Yes, I can hear you.
There's been a motion, there was an objection, and now there's a motion to place other business on the agenda, and there was a second. It was given by Representative Narcomi, first motion, and seconded by Representative. Okay, with a motion and a second on the floor to place other business on the agenda, we will now go to vote. Secretary, call the roll.
Leetta Sampson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley,
Yeah.
John Narcomi,
He said yes.
okay. Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
She said yes.
Terry Edwards,
He said yes as well.
Nancy Fixico,
Yes as well.
Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Tamara Downey,
Did you say no? Abstain.
abstain, okay.
Miss Downey, abstain.
Leon Petit,
Abstain.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Delois Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright,
Yes.
Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sina Yesla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie,
No.
Andrea Scraper,
Yes.
Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
Mongo, no.
No.
Gregory Bota,
No.
Catherine McCoy, Charlie Hill, Tiffany Cully,
Abstain.
Did you say abstain? Abstain.
okay. Danita Harjo,
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
okay. I have a count of 19 yes, 3 no, and 4 abstentions.
With a count of 19 yes, 3 noes, and 4 abstention, the adding of other business to the agenda has passed. Now, those items that are to be on other business.
For a nomination. And then there was a resolution to address the possible distribution to the members of the Seminole Nation from the ARP Act funds.
Okay. Representative Fulbright.
Chair, I ask that we move other business at the beginning of the agenda.
Are you asking to suspend the order of the agenda? To
Yes,
place other business
first.
at the front of the agenda?
Yes, sir. Yes, Chair.
Are you placing that in? Is there any objection to placing other business, suspending the order of the agenda and placing other business at the front of the agenda? Question, Representative Dethridge. I believe what Mr. Narkemy said, it was to discuss the authorizing and approving of the expenditure of funds received under the American Rescue Plan Act for household assistance and the treasurer of the Seminole Nation. The tribal resolution number, if this is what the council chooses to do, I'll read that tribal resolution number, will be TR 2021-29 for the expenditures of funds received under the American Rescue Plan Act household assistance. Okay, if there's no objection to go to other business and to place it at the beginning of the agenda, then that's where we're going to be. It's Representative Fulbright. Peck, you need to help with the representative. Yeah, you might have to take them down just a little bit. It's getting a little feedback. Thank you. Houston, you still got your mic? Can we have a mic that actually functions, placed in the middle of the floor, and then the council can come up to that one mic that's actually functioning?
Testing.
There you go.
There we go.
Representative Fulbright.
Yes, I'd like to sponsor Tribal Resolution TR 2129. A tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma authorizing and approving the expenditure of funds received under the American Rescue Plan Act for household assistance. And I ask for a second.
There's a second by Representative Borba. So there's a motion for TR 2021-29 and a second by Representative Borba. We are in discussion. You still have the floor. The techs are going to set up a mic towards the middle of the floor. When I call on you and you have the floor, then approach the mic and speak. And we thank you for your patience. There's a little bit, as they always say, technical difficulties. That's the mic that you'll speak when you have the floor as a council representative, so that everybody turned on.
That's a way of turning me off here, Liz. On TR 2130, our band asked that we submit a request for the amount of $2,000 for distribution for tribal members, and that would include the adults and the children straight across.
That all you have?
That's all I have, unless there's an objection or discussion.
We're in discussion. Representative Arjo, and then Representative Dethridge after that, and Representative Coleman after that.
Can you hear me, Chair? Can
Yeah.
everyone hear me? So I just wanted to take this time to explain myself just a little bit. So what I was trying to allude to a little while ago is the fact that this is a last minute venture here. It was not placed on the actual agenda. Our band has discussed it. There was not an amount placed into the resolution, nor was there a resolution number. Our band is not in the business of doing verbal resolutions or approving them without taking them back to our band. And that is the only thing that is stopping us from doing this. So I'm going to take this down. So basically what I'm trying to say here is we don't want to start off behind with a brand new administration, because what we allow is what's going to continue. If we do this now, there's going to be a last minute one come up next time, a last minute one come up next time, and they're going to say, well, we did it at the beginning. So that's kind of our stance at the band. So we are prepared to absolutely vote through a distribution. However, our band was asking if there was a way that we could even expedite this, maybe have a special call next week so we can properly introduce it, invite everybody to the band so they know that this was going to go on. We know that there's an absolute amount that we're going to vote on, and then we can do it next Thursday, a week from now, and then we can expedite it after that, but we can follow the process that we always are complaining about. We don't follow the process. So we are fully prepared to vote for this, but in this sense, because it goes against our bylaws of the band and against the wishes of our band, we are prepared to either abstain from this vote or motion to table. And I make that motion to table.
Second.
Motion to table was made by Natalie Harjo of the Wathley Band. And who was that second? Was that Terry Edwards? Oh, it was Greg
I did,
Rotal.
Mr. Chairman.
Rotal of the Wathley Band. So there's a motion to table TR 2021-29, which is the motion for tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, authorizing and improving the expenditure of funds received under the American Rescue Plan Act for household assistance. So there's a motion and a second. Secretary, call the roll. There's no discussion on the table.
Leetta Sampson,
No.
Anthony Conley, Anthony Conley,
He said no.
okay, I barely heard him. John Narkemy,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
No.
Terry Edwards,
No.
Nancy Fixico,
No.
Ida Gonzalez,
No.
Tamara Downey,
The table. Yes.
Leon Petit,
Yes.
Joseph Billy,
Is that yay or nay? That's a yes. The table. Yes.
Dolores Harjo,
No.
Karen Fulbright,
No.
Ann Borba,
No.
Stephanie Lambert,
No.
Sina Yesla,
No.
Lottie Cootie,
Yes.
Andrea Scraper,
Yes.
Ella Coleman,
No.
Shirley Watkins,
No.
Natalie Harjo,
Yes.
Gregory Bota,
Yes.
Catherine McCoy, Charlie Hill, Tiffany Cully,
Yes.
Danita Harjo,
Yes.
Willis Dethridge,
Say that again.
Willis Dethridge,
No.
Desiree Emerton,
No.
okay, I have a count of 11 yes, 15 no, 0 abstentions.
Can you read the count again, please?
11 yes, 15 no, 0 abstentions.
11 yes, 15 no, 0 abstentions. The motion to table fails. We're back to the original motion on TR 2021-29. Representative Dethridge. While Representative Dethridge is coming forth, there is in the Title 16 of allowance for other business. to be placed on the agenda on matters of serious concern to the council. So if there is an area for other business to be able to address, it is proper for the council to do just what they did by asking for other business to be placed up on the agenda, and that passed, as well as what items it will be that is on that agenda. So that passed. So we will get the code of law out to you. You can actually look at it online. For many of you representatives that are new to the tribal council, and this chairman is going to try to have, before the holidays set in, training for the general council of the Seminole Nation. So that's just for clarification purposes. Representative Deatherage.
Thank you, Chair. Just like Heidi at Jaggy Band, we at the Tuscaloosa Band, we had our band meeting Thursday evening. We discussed this at length, and we've come up with a different number than what Heidi at Jaggy has, probably come up with a different number than what O'Cheesy has, and so forth and so on. Ours, we've decided that because of the COVID situation, the economic downfall of, and several other factors, that we just felt like it would be best that every tribal member that's listed in the ARPA number count would receive $2,000. That's above 18, below 18. Everybody receives the same amount, $2,000. And so that would be our suggestion as a Tuscaloosa Band. So.
Thank you for your discussion. Representative Deatherage. Representative Coleman.
Chair.
Is that Representative Sampson?
Yes.
Okay. I'm recognizing Representative Coleman, and then you will follow Representative Coleman.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. In our band meeting the other night, can y'all hear me okay?
Come up a little closer
Okay.
to the mic.
All right. Our band had voted on this particular resolution, and that it was our decision that the amount to be provided for the household assistance using the ARP funds in the amount of $2,000 per tribal member who is at least 18 years of age, and then $1,000 for every tribal member under the age of 18, and that this would be distributed in two distributions so that the people can have something to look forward to. Those that received the $2,000 would get $1,000, and then later, maybe the following year, get $1,000. And the $1,000 for the children, $500 this go around, $500 the next go around. And as of 18 years of age and under the age of 18, as of, we would say September 30, 2021, the year that this resolution would be approved. Thank you.
On that last comment, Representative Coleman, you said September 30th. Was you talking about that being the date that if this was to pass in that form, for it to be enacted?
Yes.
Okay, that's for clarification purposes. Representative Sampson was next, and then Theophily will be after Representative Sampson.
Thank you,
Representative Sampson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. What I would like to know is, could you clarify about the member/citizen? Explain to us why the freedmen are not receiving this. And
You had several different comments from the different representatives that spoke today. And as I see on the resolution, it said all members of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. And if Representative Fulbright will expound on the resolution that she made a motion to, that question will be directed to the sponsor of that resolution.
Thank you.
Yes, Leetta, Representative Sampson.
Yes.
I understand your question. What this is for is tribal members that are enrolled by blood. I'm not for sure if the freedmen were included in the count or not. If they weren't, they should have been, maybe. We have been without an attorney for 4 years, an attorney general to represent the council with this information. So I feel like for now, today, with this resolution, that we have it for the tribal members that are enrolled by blood, and that we get an attorney opinion. And if things need to be changed, they'll be changed. I certainly don't want us in litigation with the Department of Interior or anything. And I certainly feel like the tribal members need to be taken care of today. We've had this money for quite a while now, and it's been a hot topic amongst all of the bands and the people, and wanting to know when the Seminole Nation Council is going to take care of us. I want that to be done today. If you haven't presented it to your band, I think you had the opportunity to take care of business and say, hey, there's something floating out there. If we get a total, what do you want us to do? Where do you want us to start at? Do you want a distribution? Do you want to spend the money on what the tribe needs and then what's left over, give it to the people? I don't think that was one of the popular votes in our band, But, and believe me, they had quite a bit higher amounts. But we do know that this issue is before us with the freedmen.
Okay, there is a timeline on this, I'm sure, because once the timeline is up, then there's no discussion of the freedmen getting anything, because on the CARES Act, the freedmen were counted and got nothing at that time as well. So that's what our band and our people are concerned about.
I understand, Ms. Sampson, and as well as I know, the General Counsel had zero say-so on the CARES Act money. As far as the expenditures, how much, or anything. I mean, it was taken care of by the administration. And who knows, we may have cleanup in there. But I do want us to get an attorney general hired as soon as we can, RFP sent out, so we can have make a good informed decision. And I hope you understand that.
I understand that. I'm just worried about the time limit, because after time limit.
And we have to have an attorney pretty quick. I mean, that's by law. We have to have an attorney during our meetings.
Right.
And we haven't. So,
yeah, I'm well aware of that. But like I say, it's the time limit that we're worried about, so that we can make sure that everything is, the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, because we are part of the nation as well.
and that's the thoughts with us also. We want things done right. I don't know if everybody agrees with that, but I feel like we need to do this right. And like I said, we've all knew this discussion would be coming up, and we should have been prepared for it. Whether it was, do you want me to agree with them? Do you not want me to agree with the distribution amount or distribution period, So once you're sitting in these seats, things happen. I mean, you got to be able to work. Things happen every day that we need resolutions passed to take care of business of the nation. And we just all need to be prepared. And I'm standing at my 2,000. I'm not taking any, what do you call it? Yeah, I'm not negotiating.
Thank you, Representative Fulbright. Thank you, Chair.
Representative Harjo.
Again, I just wanted to reiterate, this is the whole reason why we wanted it to be in a formal meeting that we could present it. Just to answer what was insinuated earlier, we don't run on hearsay. It can be a rumor all we want to, but until it's on paper, that's how BIA works too. It's got to be voted on paper. We can't just say, well, they said 2,000. They said 3,500. They said all of it. We have to have it on paper so we can present it properly. And that's all I'm trying to say. If we did go with the 2K and 1,000 below, we would need a friendly amendment or an amendment. And she has already said that she's not going to be wanting to do that. So my question here is, yes, and also we do need to right the wrongs. I will say that. If there's something that comes up with the Freedmen and then we need to right that wrong, then let's absolutely do that. It's time to do that. So my actual question is the budget number. What is that amount going to cost us? If somebody can explain that number to us for the entire amount. And also, in the past, just stating, if we had things like this that came up for amounts, sometimes we were given 3 different options and we would take it back to the band. How about these 3 scenarios? And we could take it back to the band to vote on it. And then that's what we would do if we didn't have an absolute option. So right now, the only answer that I really seek is what is this amount going to cost for the $2,000? I'd like to see those numbers.
Representative Yetzlis.
Karen, the only thing my band had discussed, well, along with the amount, was that if we could get it in a check form. We had so many that had issues with the cards. A lot of the elders didn't have a way to access, online and different ways to pay. So if it's distributed in whatever amount, if it's 2,000, but that it is in check form. Thank you.
Representative Narcomi.
I have some numbers in front of me.
I believe that the motion that's on the floor would be around $37 million.
Yes.
If the
If we were to.
with 2,600 freedmen, that would add $5.2 million. That would be just over $42 million total. And
$37,278 estimated if you were to give $2,000 to every member, leaving a total of $58,180. Representative, who else had a possible total? Which other representatives? Ella, you had a suggestion? What was your?
Sorry. Our band had voted on $2,000 for 18 and older and $1,000 17 and below to be distributed in 2 different distributions.
okay, then what we have is statements from the sponsors of the resolution. It's going to be about $37 million for tribal members that are enrolled at this time, a little over 18,000 of tribal members by blood. That would be around 37 million, just a little over that. If the freedmen was to be included, it would be around 42 million, add about $5.2 million. So the resolution that stands right now that was has a motion and a second is the resolution that was read by Representative Fulbright. Representative Borba. Representative Dethridge, there's still discussion. And then Representative Yeslith, and then Representative Pittman, in that order.
Floor.
When you have the floor, you stand. You do not have the floor, Mr. Narkme. Mr. Narkme, you do not have the floor.
I have the floor.
Yeah, you can, I'll get back to you.
Okay.
But you don't have the floor at the moment. Mr. Dethridge, Representative Dethridge.
Yes, I'd like to reiterate one more time about our band meeting that we had. I don't know how many more bands have discussed actual numbers. I hear Ocheesy has a number, Jaggy has a number, Tuscaharjo has a number. That there's one common number in that, and it's around the $2,000 range. So I'd like to be able to visit with the Ocheesy band representatives and the Jaggy band representatives at lunchtime and see if we can come up with a number that we can all agree on and maybe bring it back to the council after lunch, if we're going to be here after lunch. I don't know whether we will be or not.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dethridge. Is that motion on the floor willing to be well, there's a motion on the floor in a second. If they don't accept a discussion, no, it's there on the floor. We'll go on to the vote. Except there was some that wanted to speak before we go to vote. I believe that was Representative Yeslith, Representative Pittman, and then Representative Narkome, I believe, in that order. Thank you.
Chair, I was just motioning that he was still in that process.
Okay. Please, you council representative, the rules of order under Title 16. If you're not going to walk up to the mic and speak, then you need to stand where you are and speak. So Representative Pittman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not sure if the council members on the Zoom call can hear me as well. I just have a simple question, and the question piggybacks on Representative Sampson's concerns. My question is, will the distribution cost to pay the members by blood be an annual fee, or will it just be paid out to the members until all the funds are depleted?
No, it's a one-time payment,
So
not
it's,
an annual payment.
so it's not monthly, it's just a
No.
one-time payment?
No,
Okay,
it's not monthly.
Okay, and my concern was, if we have the CARES Act funding, if we had considered, or if there were any discussions, because our band would like to have the discussion, can those funds be used to pay Attorney General? Because we're continuing to function without an Attorney General. And that seems to be in violation of our Constitution.
No, it is not a violation of the Constitution, Representative Pittman, but it is in Title II of the Code of Law. And whenever there's a conflict between the Constitution and the Code, Constitution is preeminent. We can still meet without an Attorney General from a constitutional perspective.
Thank you. And one more question, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Thank you. And if the funds are distributed without the two Freedmen bands included, then will that be an additional cost if there's litigation, as opposed to including the two bands to avoid retribution, or to avoid the payments that come later, which funds may not be available to do so?
if I'm gathering what you're saying, Representative Pittman, you're asking if there was a litigation, would there be cost to the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma to defend anything that may come in that litigation?
Yes, sir.
Lawyers never work for free. So yes, there would be a cost.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I don't say that. Some of them do pro bono every once in a while. But I don't think on a case like that would happen. Okay, we're back to the resolution.
Mr. Chairman.
Representative Cootie.
Between the two representatives we just discussed, we had talked about the distribution in our band way a while back. We're looking at it and we're saying, if the distribution is made to tribal members only right now, do we save enough funds for the freedmans later on, whatever is decided? If not, then those dollars we can take and distribute it to among our programs. And that's what we're looking at. So think about it.
Well, if there is a distribution, it will only come up to a certain amount, and there will be funds left for internal infrastructure within the Seminole Nation. So yes, there would be additional funds, somewhere around 55 to 57 million that would still be there for any kind of internal infrastructure. Any way that the council would approve it, there would be funds left. With the current motion that's on the floor. Okay, we're going to go, Representative Narcome.
Thank you. My band has pretty much been discussing this off and on since June. And I know I've spoken to members. I can't get stopped if I go to Walmart without someone asking me or stopping me and asking about this issue. And it was included in the petition that was presented months ago. I even mentioned it at one of our previous meetings. I, for one, am ready to put this issue to rest and answer the question. But Representative Harjo was correct. There are no less than 3 resolutions put forward before the council today, just now. And it'd be unfair, in my opinion, for us to make a decision this time without taking the time to bring it to our individual bands once and for all. For these individual suggestions to be formally printed up, presented to each band, and then let the bands make up their mind as to how they wish to proceed. That's just a comment. Thank you.
Assistant Chief Palmer, will you please come and chair the meeting for a moment? I'm going to take the floor. I realize what everybody is saying here today, but at the end of May, we received $88.4 million. We had a June quarterly meeting where the treasurer of the Seminole Nation and the principal chief at that time had contradicting issues whether that funds had even came in. And they had, the treasurer knew that, but the chief did not. He had said right there at that council meeting, those funds had not even come in. That was 3.5 months ago. The tribal council had 17 signatures by petition to try to meet as soon as practically possible there in July. And what happened? Seven and a half weeks later, on August 26th, that meeting took place. Some of you as new council representatives weren't included in that meeting because you weren't yet installed. So band chiefs have meeting every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks for months and months and months and months and months and months and months. But now we're at a place where we want to wait again. If one band says this, one band says that, another band has this, and there's these different figures going forth. Sounds like to me that in all honor and respect to you as the distinguished bands of the Seminole Nation, you all have band chiefs. If this resolution does not pass today on this floor, then please get the discussion going so that your bands can talk about it. Many of you have been talking about it. That's all you've heard from our people. And I'm going to tell you, by the Constitution and the powers of the council has an obligation to promote health, economic, things that face us as a nation for our tribal members. Matter of fact, I want to read that verbatim. Can you give me that? I'm trying to think. I'll read that verbatim. But within the powers of the council, you have that power to do that. And this is what I want to say about it. The money has been with the Seminole Nation May, end of May, June, July, August, and now this is September. No wonder your tribal members say, why aren't we taking action? No wonder they say, are we not as considerate, or we are not as compassionate as other tribes have shown to be? So if this does not pass today, and I can, as the chief of the Seminole Nation, allow the chair to chair like he is doing, the assistant chief, and me take the floor. But I'm sharing that with you today. So if this motion does fail, then take it back to your band chiefs. They meet more often than even you do as a band, most likely. And let's get this thing done. And we'll look at a special call meeting if this resolution is to fail. So that's what I have to say. Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Here it is: to promote public health, education, and charity, and such other services that may contribute to the social and economic advancement of the members of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. Article 5, powers of the General Counsel. Representative Yesles.
Yes, I would just like clarification. I have also saw on Facebook by many that they have been trying to get their children enrolled since when the CARES distribution, and some haven't heard anything or gotten an answer. So if we have any little ones who haven't yet been enrolled, are they still entitled if that process happens within the next 4 years?
Well, the normal process, whenever such allocations are given to tribal members, it's enacted at the time of the legislation passes. And anyone that was born on that day or before that are eligible for enrollment in the Seminole Nation would be eligible for these funds as well. And that's what we call a historical record and how we have acted historically. And it makes sense for that if we continue to practice that. So we've discussed enough. Unless there's other discussion, there's Representative Dethridge, then Representative Harja after Representative Dethridge.
Chair, I'm going to try this one more time. I'm going to ask for a friendly amendment to include these figures into Tribal Resolution 2021-29, that every member of the Seminole Nation who was counted in order to receive this $88 million for the ARPA funds, that every member received $2,000, whether you're 1 day old or 112 days old. Everybody receives $2,000, and that the cutoff date will be today, 9/4/21, because I do not want to overwhelm our tribal enrollment office for the next 30 days, 60 days, or whenever, because with the COVID situation and you get 100,000 people coming in every day to try to sign up to become an enrolled member of the Seminole Nation or whatever, that's going to be too much. So I am asking for a friendly amendment, $2,000, and the cutoff date is today. So
The cutoff date of eligibility of enrollment is today.
yes,
If they're born as of this day
yes.
and they are 3 days old and they're eligible to enroll as a Seminole enrollee, then they're counted as well.
If they're born today, what'd you say?
Born today, a couple days ago.
Yeah, a couple of days ago, not 2 days from now, not on the
I understand that.
September the 5th. Right.
Date
No.
of passage.
Yes. And if they can't accept that, then I ask that we take this to a vote and change tribal TR 21, 29 to these figures.
Well, they said they weren't accepting friendly amendments, but that's the historical way that we have practiced allocations. We have set dates occasionally on others. So I know you said you weren't accepting, but you weren't accepting for the amount. Are you accepting for that friendly amendment as far as those that are eligible? You can just say yes or nay.
Okay, so you're asking that if they're born today, yesterday, last week, and they didn't have the opportunity to enroll yet because they got to have a birth certificate. I know a lot of tribal members are waiting on birth certificates for different things, and it takes forever for that stuff to come through, and social security numbers. If they're born today or prior to today's date, they can still enroll and receive the funds, is what you're asking. I can accept that.
Friendly amendment has been accepted.
What about that $2,000 for every member?
It's already on the floor. That's
Yeah.
that's what they're saying, $2,000 for everybody.
Every member.
Tribal members enrolled by blood. And we will discuss the Freedman issue on another resolution. Is that what you're implying?
To some degree, that's what I'm implying.
Okay.
And the reason, somewhat having a discussion right here, Miko, but we had a concern that the numbers weren't exactly correct when they were sent to whomever they were sent to. I understood there was supposed to have been 21,000 numbers sent, and then there was 18,000. So there's some discrepancy there. And we asked, and thought about, I guess the question would be to you, since Ms. Fulbright is sponsoring this legislation, is would you be receptive to inquiring further about why the freedmen were not included in this distribution?
We don't know if they were or not.
That's right.
We don't
No,
know.
Yeah,
no,
but you
we
can
do
find
know.
out.
We do know. We
Yes
do
or no?
know. We know that
want that discussion.
This is a process, and I've got the numbers right here. And I'm not going to name names here. But I want to say, I appreciate our enrollment office. Because our enrollment office worked diligently to get an answer. And I'm not going to read verbatim what's said here because this is correspondence between several people. But I will sum it up in this way. Enrollment asks continuously, what is the number that we use? There are 18,000 some odd Seminoles by blood. There are 2,600 Seminole freedmen citizens. What number is it that we utilize and use? Thank you. Thank you, sir. So I know that's on paper. It's in emails. And the number that did go through was bloods only. So was it possible to use the higher number? Perhaps it was. I wasn't the one signing the final certificate. Had I was, I would have known that answer. You have enrollees within the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. They go to the same enrollment office. They go through the same process of enrollment. These are not federal program funds. These are not trust funds. These are American Rescue Act funds for recovery, preparation, and all those things pertaining to the COVID virus. There ain't a single person in this room that's immune to that. And we all know that too much, too close. So yes, there's my answer. So you got a friendly amendment. So you accepted the friendly amendment. We're going back to the original question.
But you would be receptive to following up on the request about numbers.
If the tribal council directs me to do that, I will.
Okay.
And we're going back to the original motion. And I realize that each and every one of you have things that your band has directed you to do. So we're going back to the original motion. Any other discussion? Representative Borba, then Representative Narkamy, and then we're going to go to the question if there's no other discussion. Representative Borba, please stand as you speak on the council floor. Okay. Representative Narkamy, you had your hand and I actually acknowledge you. After Mr. Narkamy, we're going to the question.
For the record, just so we've had a lot of discussion. For the record, would Representative Fulbright restate the motion? Just so we're all clear, would you restate the motion?
It was hard for me to hear you, sir.
Yeah, just restate what we're voting on, just so we're all clear.
The chairman addressed that. We're voting on the resolution that's before you, Tribal Resolution 2021-29, a tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, authorizing and approving the expenditure of funds received under the American Rescue Plan Act for household assistance, where it has the two blanks. Representative Fulbright filled those two blanks with 18 and above and 17 and below at the same amount of $2,000. And that was the bill that was representative of getting on the floor with the first and second. There was a friendly amendment by Representative Dethridge that all members as of this day, September 4th of 2021, or those born on this day or prior to this day who are eligible to enroll within the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma also be included. So he's protecting the children with that particular friendly amendment is what he's doing. So is everybody clear? Okay, Secretary, if you're still there, hello. Hello, Secretary.
I'm here.
Call the roll.
Leetta Sampson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley,
Yes.
John Narkemy,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
Yes.
Terry Edwards,
Yes.
Nancy Fixico,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Tamara Downey,
Yes.
Leon Petit,
Yes.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Dolores Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright,
Yes.
Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sina Yesla,
Yes.
Yes.
Lottie Cootie,
Yes.
Andrea Scraper,
Yes.
Ella Coleman,
No.
Shirley Watkins,
No.
Natalie Harjo,
Abstain.
Gregory Vota,
Abstain.
Abstain.
Catherine McCoy, Charlie Hill, Tiffany Cully,
Abstain.
Danita Holada Harjo,
Abstain, she said.
okay, Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
I have a count of 20 yes, 2 no, 4 abstentions.
With a count of 20 yes, 2 no, and 4 abstentions, I declare that have passed. TR 2021-29. We have TR, yes, Representative Fulbright.
On the Freedmen.
Clarify that for me, please. Are you asking the chair to check into that? No, if the council has a consensus, if there's any objection to what Ms. Fulbright is saying, you can object at this time. And then if there is, then we'll have to go to vote. She's asking me to check in on the numbers and the placing of the freedmen citizens. Is that correct? In a sum? Well, we do know what numbers were used. It's correct for that particular date in February for Seminoles by blood. These figures are correct. So we do know there's about 2 2,600 freedmen, citizens, and then there's over 18,000 Seminoles by blood. But it came up to over 20,000 total. The freedmen numbers were not included in the ARPA funds with the certification of the enrollment, the official certification of enrollment. They were not. What do we do now? What is the council directing the chair to do? What is the council directing the chair to do? Well, as you know, in some areas, because there's regulations, Ms. Fulbright. If you're directing the chair to find out and come back with a report, I'll be glad to do that. That's what the council with no objection is asking the chair to do. Is there any objections for the chair to research that a little bit more and come back with a report for the general counsel? If there's no objections to that, then the chair will note that. Secretary, write that as a note for me to look into that further and to see where those numbers were and what actually happened. I kind of explained to you what happened, but I'll do it in a full report if that's what you like. Okay, we're gonna go forward. We've got tribal resolution TR 30, appointing a treasurer of the Seminole Nation, Mr. Bill Larney. Can I have a sponsor for that? Representative Fulbright, are you asking to sponsor that? Yeah, Representative Fulbright said she would sponsor that. And right after other business, I'm going to let a few words from my Assistant Chief, and then I'll say a few words as well, and then we'll get into the rest of the agenda.
This is another resolution for other business, TR 21-30. I'd like to introduce tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, appointing Bill Larney as treasurer of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, where Bill Larney, who meets the statutory requirements for the position of tribal treasurer, is hereby nominated for appointment as the Seminole Nation treasurer based on his experience, credentials, and good standing within the community as they are shown by the attached cover letter and resume. Bill Larney shall serve a 4-year term as required by Title 14, Section 102. Now therefore be it resolved that the General Council of the Seminole Nation, Oklahoma, hereby approves the appointment of Bill Larney as treasurer of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma for a 4-year term expiring on September 6, 2025, and I ask for a second.
We got a motion and a second to approve Bill Larney as the treasurer of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. He does meet the requirement. There was an inquiry about whether he was enough Seminole blood, because under Title 14, the requirement is 1/4 Seminole blood, and you were sent that paper from enrollment that verifies he is 7/8 Seminole blood, and he does have the accounting degree and experience as an auditor as well, as you read his resume. Representative Borber, then Representative Narkemy.
Yes, I was wondering if Bill was here and if he did come and introduce himself.
Bill, are you still here? Yes, he is. If you would, just come on down to the floor here. Bill has he's on his full way to recovery from knee surgery, so Some of you might say, is he going to make it? He's going to make it. Bill has been active in the Seminole Nation over the years, going back 20, 25 years in different capacities. And of course, you have his resume before you as well. So this is Mr. Bill Larney of the Chiyaha Band, 7/8 Seminole Indian blood. Accountant.
Well, like Chief said, my name is Bill Larney, and I grew up here in Seminole County, but I've been away for some time. I've lived across the river for about 20 years. And the reason I'm back here on the north side of the river is I've got divorced, or I'm in the process of getting divorced. So I thought, well, the best thing to do is come home. So, and in the meantime, I have been unemployed since 18. And that's due to the fact the business that I was associated with changed hands. And they brought in their own people. So the people that were there with me were in the same situation that I was. So in the meantime, I've been looking for jobs. And the thing that hindered me from actually pursuing a job was due to my knees. I had both knees replaced. And most jobs that I had come across were standing positions for 8 hours or more. And so, and Chief Johnson called me up, and I shouldn't say call me up. Yeah, I called him and returned his call, and he asked if I would accept a position as treasurer. And from that, it was an honor for him to call me to accept the position of treasurer, because we're here to work for the tribe. It's just not one individual. It's for everyone. So, I told the chief that I would be more than happy to. And so he said that he was going to put my name in as a nominee. And so that's it. If you have any questions, I will answer them.
Representative Narcome.
Pardon? What, could you speak up a little louder?
How's that? Okay. You've been back around since 2018. So you've seen the happenings of our nation.
Yes, I have.
You are familiar with the, I don't want to say what state we're in, but we do have loose ends within the nation at this point, because our last treasurer did contract he left us just recently, and so there are loose ends, and I'm just generally asking. I've seen your resume. I'm satisfied with your credentials. Are you ready to jump in? And
Yes, I am.
get us to that point to where we need to be? Because as I said, there are loose ends. If you've been around for a while, so you know that we're going to need a lot of help getting things back to where we need them to be. So,
The thing I have in reference to that is that I will not be the only one. I mean, I won't just come in here and just say, yes, I want to change everything. No, this takes cooperation.
Yes.
With the chief, and I will, he and I will be close together as far as what needs to be done. And also, from what I understand, just listening to a lot of the questions here, that there's a lot of misinformation, and there's more information that needs to be given to the council to make a good business decision. And, if there's a flaw in a figure amount or a dollar amount, that's due to the fact that there's some misinformation that was given out. So we as a whole need to work together to meet the objective of getting the tribe moving forward. So,
Well, that's what I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much.
any other questions?
Thank you, Mr. Representative Narcomi. Any other questions? Mr. Narcomi, Representative Narcomi.
Having no questions, I call for the vote.
There's a motion and a second on the floor. Secretary?
Yes.
Call the roll on tribal resolution TR 2021-30.
Can you clarify who seconded that?
Miss Representative Coleman, the Ocheesedan.
Okay, thank you. Leota Sampson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley, Anthony Conley,
Yes.
Yes.
John Narcomi,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman. Was that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, I could barely hear her. Terry Edwards,
Yes.
Nancy Fixico,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Tamara Downey,
No.
Leon Petit,
No.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Delois Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright,
Yes.
Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sandy Esla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie,
Yes.
Andrea Scraper,
Yes.
Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
Abstain.
Gregory Vota,
Abstain.
Abstain.
Catherine McCoy, Charlie Hill, Tiffany Cully,
Abstain.
Danita Harjo,
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
okay. I have a count of 20 yes, 2 no, 4 abstentions.
Repeat that, please.
I have a count of 20 yes, 2 no, 4 abstentions.
Okay, with a count of 20 yes, 2 no, 4 abstentions, I declare that resolution to have passed. Thank you, Mr. Larney. Okay, when they suspended the order of the agenda, they also suspended the order of how me, as the chair and as the assistant chief, was to address the council. And you stole Brian's thunder, see? No, I'm just kidding. So Brian, if you're ready now, come speak to the council. As the assistant chief of the Seminole Nation, Mr. Brian Palmer.
want to thank everybody for being here today. This is a historic day for our Seminole Nation. You know, choosing the best words for today has been a challenge because so much needs to be said, so much can be said. You know, the oath of office isn't just a symbolic gesture. It isn't a promise. It's so much more. The significance of this moment will be reflected upon by our children, our grandchildren. They will remember this moment as the day a new legacy was born, a day that this group of leaders came together to form the foundation that will carry the weight of this nation for the next 4 years and beyond. This foundation needed to happen. It needed to occur. The strength of the people that are standing in front of me, the strength of the people that are out in the audience today is what the Seminole Nation is. You know, I look upon our new chief and our general counsel, and I'm overwhelmed with the hope, and I feel blessed that our Creator, our Lord, has chosen us to fulfill these roles. We must strive for unity. Unity is something that we lack. We've seen it time and time again, that we stand in our own way. It is time for us to stand united. You know, everybody loves a comeback story, and it's time for ours. I'm not going to name names, but someone once told me that Chief Johnson, if you asked him for the time, he would tell you how to build a clock. You know, and I say that jokingly, but there's both truth and wisdom to that statement. You see, a great leader will take the time to ensure a complete understanding of an answer is given. We know that time is consistent. We know that time is relative. You know, in our daily lives, we find that we either don't have enough time or there's too much time. We need one more hour, one more day, one more year. You know, maybe we need that one last moment with a loved one that we lost. Or perhaps we're waiting on the seasons to change. Our views about time may differ, but we can all agree right now it is 11:46 a.m. We also agree it's time, and as we've seen today, for the Seminole Nation to move forward, to rebuild, so that we can thrive once again. We as Seminoles have a responsibility to our nation, and we must demonstrate a level of care that our ancestors expect. It's time for us to prioritize caring for our land, our language, our culture, but above all, the soul of this nation, the people. We must care for our children, our elders, and everyone in between, and even those in death. As the winds shift, bringing summer to an end, we too must shift our thoughts to the future. We must walk united on the same path. We must choose unity over division, not for ourselves, but for our children and our grandchildren. Unity will bring strength to our nation, strength needed to forge ahead, not for the next hour or day or year, but for those that have yet to be and for those that have already gone, so that they can inherit a strong sovereign nation and reflect upon a legacy of nation builders and see that fighting together for our future, our true place in this world, is the only fight that Seminoles will engage in. Challenges lie ahead, and we must be dedicated to the destination. We must encourage each other, be attentive to each other, love and respect each other. Be as our Creator intended. So let's not waste another hour or day or year. Today is the day that we remind the world that we are Seminole in Yichida. So I'll leave you with a quote from Jean Chahurdy. When you act and speak, you must think of your relatives, known and unknown. You must also remember the plants, the animals, the living things, and the ancient ones, those that have gone before you. But oh,
Brian told me before the meeting today, he says, I got about 3 minutes. He's about like me on time, isn't he? That was a great words, Brian. Appreciate you sharing that. Since we did go out the order of the agenda, now the chief will also say a few words myself. Well, first of all, I want to offer honor, and I want to offer reverence to the Creator above for this day, September 4th, 2021, which He has foreordained to take place for this very time, which we all reside and live within. Assistant Chief Palmer, General Counsel representatives, we have been summoned by the members of the great Seminole Nation of Oklahoma to truly lead and lay aside everything that may be a weight that attempts to resist forward progress, which at times has caused strife and division. But rather may we all allow leadership to bring vision of hope through working together to progress forward as we continue the fortitude in which our ancestors had when our people actually knew how to identify when a battle must be fought, just not among one another. I look forward to working with each of you to perpetuate positive progress together with solidarity to go about the Seminole Nation's, the people's business. It would be remiss of me if I did not take the time to remember all those who have gone on before and left this walk of life, for many of them also envisioned this day to one day come to fruition. I want to honor all of them with a moment of silence at this time. Bro, thank you to each one that is here today, either in person or watching via live stream. I appreciate and I'm thankful for the Reverend Houston Tiger for the offering of the prayer. This administration, with the sacrifices of the General Council, must do all we are able to support the churches in our ceremonial grounds that truly are the threads of the tapestry that are intertwined tightly together to promote spiritual, social, and cultural well-being of the Seminole people. As a body of all elected leaders, we must do all we are able to fortify the continuous continuity of our culture. 41 years ago, while I was still walking the halls of Wewoka High School and serving as a very young man in a local music ministry, a relationship of love was initiated. Over these many years, she has been a pillar of strength and endurance to me, the community, and for many worthwhile causes. She loves people, sings in our language, cooks many of our traditional foods, and she is called Mama by 9 of our children, ranging from 10 to 30 years of age. I want to recognize my wife at this time, Miss Jerry Johnson, and our 9 children as well. Thank you. Out of 7 siblings born unto Charles Jakes Johnson and Sue Ann Johnson, there are 4 of us who remain on this side of grace. My sister Susie Lee, Mary Ellen, and Stanley Monroe, and myself. So they were here earlier. They may have had to leave because of whatever reasons, but they have been my pillar and they have inspired me many, many times over the years. We as Seminoles are blessed with extended family by blood, by clan, and by band relationships. I am blessed to have many of my mom's sisters on this side of grace that are my aunts who have been such an impact on my life as well. Liz Franks, Eula Robinson, Mabel, we call her Dodo, Flora Freddie Lena, we call her Chutki, and Sammy Kilcrease. When I was a little boy, most all my older aunts and uncles were still alive. My grandparents was. And now those are the ones that are left. And I remember them this day. To all the members of the Seminole Nation, before us we have vast opportunities, yet many challenges as well. Together we will face those challenges to find real solutions and resolve by practicing sound business principles and meeting around the table of reason. Leadership will promote inclusivity. Under my administration, leadership will promote inclusivity and seriously observe the many concerns of the membership. Leadership must challenge the business entities of the nation to develop a more productive economic portfolio that promotes prosperity. And I join with the General Counsel to adhere to the constitutional mandate to promote public health, education, and such other services that may contribute to the social and economic advancement of the members of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. I don't only adhere to that, but that's what we have been summoned to do, General Counsel, Assistant Chief Brian Palmer, band chiefs of the great Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. That's what we who are called in leadership in this very hour has been asked to do by the vote of our people. Truly, we live in an exciting era in Seminole Indian country. The responsibility and the accountability to protect and defend sovereignty, but most of all, to exercise the inherent sovereignty, which is the right to govern without outside interference, or to exercise sovereignty wisely. Exercise sovereignty wisely, if indeed intergovernmental participation is warranted. I am grateful to the Seminole members for granting me this opportunity to lead. One band chief said to me, "Lewis, you were born for this." One band chief also said, "You are our Moses." These are strong and sincere statements, ladies and gentlemen, and I take them very seriously to my heart. Once again, the providence of the Creator has seen that all elected leadership in this 2021 govern with grace and unity and take care of business of the Seminole Nation, which is the people's business. May God bless, may God bless each and every one of you, and may God bless the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. God bless you. Thank you. And I mean every word of that. I mean every word. Let's go back to the order of the agenda. We have other business. How's the council want to approach that? It was sponsored by Susie Harjo originally. That's something you want to address now or take up at another meeting. Ocheezy Band sponsored it originally. They have the floor, and then Miccosukee.
I spoke to Representative Harjo about this bill, and she had chosen to withdraw. So Cheesy Band will withdraw this.
Okay, that resolution has been withdrawn by Ocheezy Band, who was the original sponsor for this particular resolution, ordinance, actually. So that is withdrawn. Tribal Ordinance 2021-06, sponsored by Catherine McCoy. Is Catherine on Ring Central? I haven't heard her speak this morning. Tallahassee band hasn't been represented this morning. Okay, TO 2021-6, sponsored by Catherine McCoy. What's the council want to do with this particular legislation? Representative Dethridge? Remain on the table. Is there any objections that particular tribal ordinance 2021-06 remain on the table? Okay, there's a motion and there's not a second. If there's no objections, then that motion is tabled. Representative Yesleth, you have the floor. Excuse me, I'm getting a dry mouth here.
With going out of order, we've missed the minutes, so I make a motion that we table the minutes because we do have now the new council and they don't have access to those minutes. So I make a motion, we table the minutes till the next meeting, and I ask for a second.
Motion to table the reading of the minutes for the last meeting. And there's a second. Secretary, call the roll on the table of the last minutes, the last meeting. It says motion to table the reading of the minutes of the last meeting, June the 5th, 2021. Thank you, Representative Yesley.
Who seconded that? Do you know who's second?
Yes, we did. Representative Harjo, let's see, Waffle Band.
Okay, thank you. Leetta Sampson? Leetta Sampson?
Yes.
Anthony Conley?
Yes.
John Narkamy? John Narkamy?
Yes.
Rena Tiger?
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman?
Yes.
Yes.
Terry Edwards?
Yes.
Nancy Fixico?
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez?
Yes.
Tamara Downey?
Yes.
Leon Petit?
Yes.
Joseph Billy?
Yes.
Delois Harjo?
Yes.
Karen Fulbright?
Yes.
Ann Borba?
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert?
Yes.
Stina Yesla?
Yes.
Lottie Cootie?
Yes.
Andrea Scraper?
Yes.
Ella Coleman?
Yes.
Shirley Watkins?
Yes.
Natalie Harjo?
Yes.
Gregory Botaw?
Yes.
Catherine McCoy? Charlie Hill? Tiffany Cully? Tiffany Cully?
Yes.
Danita Harjo?
Yes.
Willis Dethridge?
Yes.
Desiree Emerton?
Yes.
I have a count of 26 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions.
Okay, with a count of 26 yes, 0 no, 0 abstention, the reading of minutes of the last meeting is declared to be tabled. So reports of committees. What does the council wish to do? There is no one in attendance on the committee. Representative Dethridge.
One more time. I had an opportunity to visit with Linda Stewart, the court clerk. She says there's like 4 or 5 very pressing issues, and she wanted to make certain that council representatives had an opportunity to look at those things. And I told her that I would let the council know. So be sure and look at the quarterly report from Linda Stewart.
Okay, Representative Dethridge, that's noted. Okay, TR 2021-25.
Yes, this is a tribal resolution of the General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, authorizing renewal of the inmate detention agreement with Seminole County, and I believe until September 30th.
That's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Representative Harjo, her hand went up before call for question.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just have one question. What is, hang on, I've got notes here and I got to find them. Okay. Why does it end at the end of this month? And is there another agreement forthcoming? And why did it double?
Okay, I did talk to County Commissioner Tim Porter, and he said they had a motion they had a vote for a tax for the jail the last election, and it failed. And so thereby that resolution not passing, that they have to recover their cost of housing the inmates, and that's why it doubled.
Representative Dethridge.
I see also your sponsors, ER 26. My question is, you're sponsoring 25 and 26. 25 is with Seminole County, and 26 is with Okfuskee County. So can you tell us why there's 2 different counties, and does it cost to do these things other than when we do those services? I mean, is there like a fee for them to say, yeah, you can bring your prisoners to us other than that $62 or that $42? I mean, is there I don't know what I'd call it, membership maybe?
I'll try to expound on that, Representative Borba. The expiration date of the original contract with Seminole County Jail Authority and the jail in the county of Seminole County was June the 30th. This was known as early as April. It did not hit the floor on June the 5th at the quarterly meeting. It expired on June the 30th with an extension granted at that time to go until July the 30th. On, I believe, July around the 19th, there was another meeting with the commissioners of the county, and there was another extension. That's where they asked for the amount that is $67. Similar to what she said, there was a jail question in April. It failed. All the municipalities are being charged similar figures for their incarcerates. And that was something that was agreed on July the 19th to go ahead and accept that. Now, what is going on before July 19th, though, let me back up a little. When the expiration of the July 30th date of the extension that was done for the Seminole Nation at that time, that's when it was changed, okay, to $67, I believe. Now, I was not in any of those negotiations, but what I do know is that there's a contract with everyone, municipalities, and what happened is the prosecutor for the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma and the tribal courts, Seminole County had said they were going to release those prisoners if we didn't have an agreement in place by a certain date. So the courts was deemed to try to do something with those prisoners, and I believe the attorney Tim Brown, who's the attorney for BCR and also the prosecutor, was concerned about that particular deadline. So what took place was Tim Brown somehow contacted Husky County and got them, because they didn't, to take the incarcerates from Seminole County, about 9 of them, at $42 per incarcerate. The original contract with the Seminole Nation was $32 before all the raising and the moving of the amount with the municipalities and, of course, with the Seminole Nation. So this is something that, as of September the 30th, it expires. I talked to one of the commissioners a couple of days ago. Had asked them when is their next meeting coming up. There's one coming up in the middle of September, and I hope to be at that meeting. I'm not saying I can do any different than what Chief Chelko did in the negotiation. I know they're pretty stiff on where they're standing on that and the arrangement of the contract as well. But I do believe that the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma is not a municipality. We're a sovereign Indian nation. And we do things with the county that municipalities are unable to do, such as with our roads program. We put in the 911 services. And I think that negotiating is in bringing some of these issues should be negotiating points. Regardless of what certain people may think, we have a negotiating point. And those negotiating points should be stated in a professional way in a meeting with the county commissioners. And I believe that probably most likely that, if there was a possibility of anything being lowered off that 67, we should try to give it an effort under this particular chief and assistant chief. It behooves us to give it the effort, okay? That's what I say. But this is already done. That's already done. It's already signed. Now it's just asking the council after the fact that it was signed to go ahead and approve it. This is signed. As you know, you got the paperwork there. I don't have to say anything else further on that. Did you see that in your paperwork? So it was an agreement that was made. We're going to have to pay that 67 at least for this time frame. Does the council wish for the chief and the assistant chief to speak with the county commissioners at a scheduled meeting they have coming in the middle of September? Try to get on the agenda and do something maybe a little bit different if possible. I'm telling you, they're pretty much sticking to their guns. I know that many people have discussed things with them, but I don't know if we brought up the negotiating points that we do as a nation. We're not a municipality. And I think that should go forward in that fashion. May not do any good with them, but we have to have a place for incarcerates at this time. Okay, we got a motion and a second. That's a contract that's already been signed. Call for question. Secretary?
Yes.
TR 2021-25. Call the roll.
Can you tell me who seconded that?
Oh. Representative Fulbright seconded it.
Okay, thank you. Leota Sampson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley,
Yes.
John Markamy,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
Yes.
okay, Terry Edwards,
Yes.
Nancy Bixico,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Tamara Downey,
Yes.
Leon Petit,
Yes.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Dolores Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright,
Yes.
Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Yeah, you could hear.
Sina Yesla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie,
Yes.
Andrea Scraper,
Yes.
Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
Yes.
Gregory
Yes.
Botaw,
Yes.
Catherine McCoy, Charlie Hill, Tiffany Cully,
Abstain.
Danita Harjo,
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a count of 24 yes, 0 no, 2 abstentions.
Okay, with a count of 24 yes, 0 no, 2 abstentions, I declare TR 2021-25 to have passed. TR 2021-26.
I would like to introduce tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving the intergovernment cooperative detention agreement between Seminole Nation and the Board of County Commissioners in the County of Offesky and the Offesky County Sheriff's Department Office. Can I have a second?
The motion by Representative Borba and seconded by Representative Harjo. In discussion, there was some concerns, I think, in some of the language of this particular bill. And it had to do with what could be seen as a limited waiver of sovereign immunity if there was some issues of the nation not paying. I know that the attorney that Chief Chelco was contracted with had raised some of those concerns as well. Representative Petit. I think there's some limitations on the amount of incarcerates that they can take, which was about 15. But they were willing to continue it as long as the nation was willing to pay the $42 for each incarcerate daily, as opposed to the Seminole County, which was 67. But the area of language was concerned that if the nation was to renege on payment, how it would be resolved. And that resolve was placed not in tribal court, but in a court outside of the Seminole Nation. It doesn't necessarily mean that if we objected to it, that they would agree to come to our courts. But that's probably a legal question, really. Yeah, I bet. I think in the termination of the dissolving of the contract, then each party has an option in that if they wanted to get out of the contract. So we're going to need the space. It's a lot less than Seminole County. So except for the language where we may be waiving what we call a limited sovereign immunity, but it's just for if we were to not pay the bill. But they're probably not going to subject themselves to tribal court for that as well. So it's up to the counselor if you're concerned with that. We still have to pay for whoever is staying in incarcerates there because that was arrangement made. Is Tim Brown does Tim Brown happen to be online? He's not? Okay. What does the council wish to do? I know there's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Now I'm bringing that issue to you about that potential interpretation of limited waiver sovereign immunity, but that's for purpose of collecting a debt in case we don't, we somehow refrain. I know the attorney that Chief Chelco has been contracted with, knows what I'm talking about in legal terms. But what does the council wish to do? Call for question? Let's just pay our bills? Yeah. All right, there's a motion and a second. Secretary?
Yes.
Yes, call the roll on TR 2021-26.
Leah Sampson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley,
Yes.
John Narkemy,
Yes, pay our bills.
Marina Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman, Terry Edwards,
Yes.
Nancy Fixico,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Tamara Downey,
Yes.
Leon Petit,
Yes.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Delois Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright,
Yes.
Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Yes.
Sina Yesla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie,
Yes.
Andrea Scraper,
Yes.
Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
Yes.
Yes.
Gregory Bota,
Yes.
Catherine McCoy, Charlie Hill, Tiffany Cully,
Yes. Oh, abstain. I'm sorry. That was, she said
Abstain.
abstain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Danita Harjo,
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
I have a count of 24 yes, 0 no, 2 abstentions.
Okay, with a count of 24 yes, 0 no, and 2 abstentions, I declare TR 2021-26 to have passed. TR 2021-27. Representative Fulbright.
I'd like to present Tribal Resolution TR 2127, Tribal Resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving the contract request for special funding authorized under the American Rescue Act Plan Act of 2021 and directing the Principal Chief on behalf of the Seminole Nation to submit and execute a request for contract for the Bureau of Indian Affairs American Rescue Plan Act Housing Improvement Program. Ask for a second.
Got a motion by Representative Fulbright and second by Mr. Representative Edwards. Correct? Who seconded that? I heard it come from over here somewhere. Oh, okay. Did you do that, Mr. Edwards? I thought you did. Okay. Natalie, you're throwing your voice there. That second was by Representative Harjo, the Washley Band. Any discussion? Any discussion? No discussion. We'll call for questions. Secretary, call the roll.
Leetta Sampson, Leetta Sampson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley,
Yes.
John Narkemy,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
Yes.
Terry Edwards,
Yes.
Nancy Fixico,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Tamara Downey,
Yes.
Leon Petit,
Yes.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Delois Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright,
Yes.
Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sina Yesla,
Yes.
Yes.
Lottie Cootie,
Yes.
Andrea Scraper,
Yes.
Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
Yes.
Gregory Bota,
Yes.
Catherine McCoy, Charlie Hill, Tiffany Cully,
No.
Danita Harjo,
No.
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
I have a count of 24 yes, 2 no, 0 abstentions.
With a count of 24 yes, 2 no, and 0 abstentions, I declare TR 2021-27 to have passed. TR 2021-28, Representative Borba.
I would like to introduce a tribal resolution of the General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, authorizing the principal chief to take action necessary to extend the expiring contracts with the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Do I have a second?
The second was by Representative Dethridge. And we're in discussion right now. Representative Pittman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question would be, can we have the chairman send a list of those contracts to the council and their dates of expiration so that we'll know what contracts?
I do know they terminate on September 30th. And this was already supposed to have been done. They sent us, that says to ensure your renewal award will be in place effective October 1st, 2021. All of the requested documentation should be submitted to the Division of Self-Determination no later than Thursday, July 1st, 2021. And we've already passed that date.
Mr. Chairman, follow up?
Yes, Representative Pittman.
Thank you. Is that, so that's the one I saw, but that's only one. How many contracts do we have?
There's going to be several, but most of them have to do with 638's law enforcement. It's one of them that's coming up on the September 30th. But what this basic resolution does is incur all of them that's facing expiration dates, which when you get a letter, get the first letter, sometimes you get the second letter, and sometimes you get a third letter, and then, well, I don't want to think about what's then, but we need to get these in with the supporting resolution.
This was sent to the executive office on June 9th, 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to request that the council be given that additional information for any additional contracts that are coming in, because we are directing the chief to enact these things on our behalf, which means those that have already passed and those that will be coming within the next 3 months. So we just want to make sure that the council is informed. Thank you.
Yeah, and it does say expiring contracts. So that's put me to make sure that those are taken care of and that we don't lose those funds because of an expired contract. I see Representative Cully and then Representative Petit after her.
Our band had the same concern. They wanted a list of all of the contracts that were going to be expiring, what they addressed. So I was just piggybacking on what Representative stated, that our band had the same concern as well. We wanted to know what contracts that were coming up that were going to be expiring so we could discuss fully and make a decision based on that.
Usually when we have a transition like what we're having today, is everyone knows the order of the agenda is made by the chairman of the council that's in the seat at that time. Only the areas of other business is what other council representatives had spoke to me about, and I shared with them during that time how other business would be able to be placed upon the agenda in a proper manner. And so the agenda right here is what's done by the former chief. So if there wasn't additional information on it, but from now on, we will include those types of things with resolutions that's hoped to be passed by this governing body. So we have a motion and a second. 2021 Tribal Resolution 2021-28. Representative Narkemy.
Call for question.
Okay. Secretary, call the roll.
Leota Sampson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley,
Yes.
John Markamy,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
Yes.
Terry Edwards,
Yes.
Nancy Fixico,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Tamara Downey,
Yes.
Leon Petit,
Yes.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Dolores Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright,
Yes.
Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sina Yesla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie, Lottie Cootie,
Yes.
Andrea Scraper,
Yes.
Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
Yes.
Gregory Vota,
Yes.
Catherine McCoy, Charlie Hill, Tiffany Cully,
No.
Danita Harjo,
No.
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Yes.
Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
Yes.
I have a count of 24 yes, 2 no, 0 abstentions.
Repeat that, please.
24 yes, 2 no, 0 abstentions.
Okay, 24 yes, 2 no, 0 abstentions. I declare TR 2021-28 to have passed. So that concludes,
Mr. Chairman.
Hello?
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, Representative Votal, yes, you have the floor.
As a point of information, it's in the council packets what contracts were expiring.
In the council packets, I think what you have, with incoming council, they may not have access to that on the portal, but they may have access if it was sent to them via mail.
Right, but the secretary would also have that information.
Yes, the budget officer, I believe, sent it out as well.
But if there's no further business, I move to a recess.
There is something before a motion to adjourn. Well, I see that we have the princess here, and she's been here for a while now, Ms. Factor. If you want to come up and present at this time and say hey. Yeah. She's been here the whole time, so give her a hand. She's been patient with us. You want to say a few words? There's a mic right there.
Hello. I hope everybody's doing well today. I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be out here and representing the tribe and being an ambassador for the Seminole Nation. Madam.
Thank you, Ms. Factor. I served on the council for many years with her grandfather, and I know he would be very, very proud of her throughout these last few years and also on this day as well. Representative Cootie. Yeah, we will work. Has been no plan put in place up to this point on any kind of distribution. But it behooves both Assistant Chief, myself, and our staff, and any additional staff that we may have to bring in to expedite it as quickly as possible. I can't give you a timeline right now at this moment, but I know that since the council passed it, we will do all that we can to execute it. I'm sorry. Well, that type of announcement will come at the time that we actually have the form that needs to be filled out by every member, because for auditing purposes, we're going to need that. I had asked the CPA and also procurement, pending that the council would pass such legislation, to begin to formulate a form or an application that is a much simpler and wording than the last one. And the CPA knows what I'm speaking about. So we're going to make it where, it's very understandable and folks won't be left out this round as much as we can. And I know we didn't say it, but we have 3 years to expend this. So if we continue, we didn't put a date on it, but we did put who was going to be eligible on it. So I think we're a little safer this time because we we have a little bit broader time, but that won't affect on how fast we try to expedite as the form comes out and it is filled by the tribal membership and gets back to us and it's verified in enrollment and the things and the guidance that needs to be done on that. So that's all that I can say at this time. So we won't put no time frame on it at this moment. But be assured that both Assistant Chief Palmer and myself and our staff and additional people that need to be hired for the purpose of getting this distribution out, we will do that. We will not put a strain on the existing staff. And I think the council understands that there's funds in that COVID to help us get this out as expeditiously as possible. And that means that we need to be able to, for temporary purposes, get some help as well. Yeah, well, it's already probably out that, the council passed it. So there will be a lot of pressure on Assistant Chief Palmer there. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. We're going to expedite it as quickly as we possibly can. And I want our tribal members who are listening right now to know that there are logistics that take place once a passage of legislation that happened today has been confirmed. So be patient with us, and we will, as expeditiously as possible, get it out. Once the forms, get out, you start filling them out. We'll get them out. Representative Fulbright, I do want to mention something before someone goes to adjournment. I know that our Constitution has what we consider the council to determine the meeting place of the general council. And for all that I can remember, and for many years, I know it's been different places, different eras of our history. Used to be in Wewoka, here at Miccosukee Mission, and that's why we're here today. But I would like some type of confirmation and concurrence from the council from this point on, going into the fall and coming into the winter, that we continue to do the virtual meetings I think we can tweak it with IT and others that it'd be a little bit more understandable. The people everywhere can still tune in to those meetings. But I think as we come into the fall and winter, it's going to be a lot more dangerous. And there was very little that we could do outside of the constitutional provisions. But if the council deems it necessary, I think the Constitution, allows us to be able to determine where the meeting place of the council is. And if that place is cyberspace, and make it available for members to tune in to every council meeting, that would probably be suffice in the middle of a pandemic. Any words to that? Is that what the council would desire? And you don't necessarily need to, I would like it in a motion, but I know it's not on the agenda, but I did ask for that to be on the agenda. You want to meet virtually from this point on through the fall and through the winter? Because if you don't, we're going to be meeting right here. Okay. Somebody says meet right here. Well, I don't like to. Okay. Well, then if it's status quo, that's what we're going to do. Representative Narcomi.
But the only thing I could say is that I have no objection to meeting virtually. I think that's wise. But I would urge the chairman to look at meeting options, because this council has had problems in the past with our current system, which is Ring Central, I believe. Sometimes it's gives us problems. So if we're going to continue with virtual meetings, I would ask that you kind of look at the various options and try to find one that gives us a little less problems.
Yeah, as I can see it, Representative Narcomi, those things can be tweaked. I have planned for the new council to come in and be with IT, of course, with all safety precautions being followed. They'll be masked up. You can come and go through a tutorial as well as an orientation with IT so that it will be more effective for you. We plan to look at getting devices if we are going to do virtual, because we never know what kind of condition that it's going to be in, or we will be in, in the next few months. And if we listen to what the CDC is saying and what most people are projecting, they're projecting a tough winter for this acceleration and spreading of the virus. So I know there's some here that want to continue to meet just like we are now, with the option of others that want to meet virtual. Y'all want to meet live and give people options, and you'll still count them as for quorum? Because I want to do it the way the Constitution, aligns it. Representative Deathridge.
I said 1.5 million. It's actually 75 miles. I live out in the country. I try to watch the council meetings virtually, and I can't. HughesNet doesn't work real well. That's the service provider that I have. If I lived in town, maybe it would be all right. I would much prefer to meet here. We're social distance. We're wearing our mask. If the heater works as well as the air conditioner in this building, I will be comfortable. Not be too comfortable. So it's just that kind of a deal for me anyways.
And with that being said, the gym could be made available for meetings, but I also want you to know that we're planning on doing something with this floor. So there might be a little bit of a time where, we're not able to utilize it, probably for special meetings. We'll try to govern it, where Because we want to fix this floor. Our young people and our people that one day will get back in here and shoot the hoops, they deserve a gym with a nice floor and be able to play again, enjoy themselves. Representative Harjo?
Can you hear me? I like the blended option for the sheer fact that if, in the event that one of us, God forbid, contracts COVID, then we have an option instead of having to not be here. So, I mean, if we're going to go with anything, I get it. I mean, I understand completely. I live in the country too. So it is kind of shoddy, especially the Ring Central. I'm not very happy with it. If we could go maybe Zoom or something a little more substantial or substantiated. But I do like the option for a blended option just for the sheer fact that there may be a quarantine issue. I mean, I myself had to self-quarantine for the last couple or within the last week because I was exposed and then I had to go take a test and all of this other stuff, which until yesterday when I got that negative test, I wouldn't have been here today. I would have been right there. So we still have a voice that we have to have heard.
We're going to still be in a state of emergency as far as the Seminole Nation is concerned. That declaration will be coming from my office as well. We do have in-person appointments, and what we can do to tweak those things to make it maybe even a little better for our tribal members, we will. But employees get sick as well because they're exposed to others that may come into the facilities. But we got to continue to work. You know, we got to continue to be able to meet the need of the membership, and we will continue to do that. But there will be a little bit, and from my perspective, I'll speak with Assistant Chief Palmer. There will be a little bit more stricter application in the area where our employees are, because, you know, it just needs to be a little stricter within our workplace, and we'll do those things. We'll put those things in place. Representative Fulbright. No, we did not all agree with that. That was a great suggestion from the Miccosukee Band. That is a desire of many, and we'll take a look at that as we begin to meet with the team that's going to be doing the distribution. And if it's all possible, we can do it in that manner, in that way. That's what we will do it. We will try to accommodate the desire, what the people want. And I understand that. But no, it was not included in the resolution as a friendly amendment, but we will. Could you write that down and send it to me? Because it's very difficult for me to hear you. I'm getting some of it, but I know I'm not getting all of it.
Okay. When the application is ready and the people can start applying, would you send the information to the general counsel on our portals with the application that we can give out to our band members on our web pages? Because some of us have web pages and we do our meetings virtually. I know not all do that, but I mean, just for those, that way they could reach out a little better to tribal members that live outside the jurisdiction, because I know a lot of them that have entered into our band meetings live outside the jurisdiction.
I'm sure any form or application that may be developed will become readily available. So you will be able to send it in by mail at
But I
this
would like
time.
for the council to.
I know at one time they talked about a portal. We'll still have to talk about that, but the estimated time for a portal to be set up and then enacted seems like a long time to me. You know,
So are
I
you
don't-
talking that we may just have to do mail-in?
No, we can do electronic through email as well, but let us get this together and then we'll get out some information.
And I'm just asking because I know once we leave this building, that's going to be questions that we're going to get asked, you know. Just like I'm sure Lottie just said, she's getting questions already, you know.
Well, sure. Just make sure that when you communicate with the tribal members, know that there's going to be a somewhat of a logistic period of designing the distribution to be able to get it out. And I realize that some of them, of our members may think, well, why did they already have something in place? Well, Assistant Chief Palmer and myself will expedite it as quickly and as fast as we possibly can. And we'll get the information out to you.
By check.
Okay, I seen Representative Coleman and then Representative Petit.
Some people may not know this young lady that passed, Lena Shaw, who was the Caesar Bruner band representative for many years on general council, passed away this week. And I understand that her funeral will be Friday, but I don't have any details on it. But I just wanted people to know, some of the young ones may not know her, but the rest of us know her. And we just extend our condolences to her family and extended family and friends, relatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Coleman, for bringing that to the attention of the tribal council. I was contacted by the Miss Lena Shaw's family of her leaving this walks of life. And as the assistant chief at that particular time, I had ordered that the flags be lowered to have mask in respect to her and the service she did for the Seminole Nation while she sat in that seat. I also drafted a resolution of respect, which is common among some of those churches to read resolutions. And I talked with her granddaughter and I said, I can do it as assistant chief-elect. She said, won't you just wait till Saturday, sir, and put chief on it. And so we're going to do that as well, because they'll read the resolutions there. It's not a council resolution. It's a resolution of respect, from the office of the chief and assistant chief as far as that goes. Okay, Representative Petit. Yes, I do actually. It's in the local banks here in Seminole County. No, it's going to be several banks. Okay, and I'll double check that, and Mr. Larney will as well when he comes into the when he gets cleared and comes into the office as the treasurer of the Seminole Nation. I don't have access to that particular file, so the treasurer of the nation would. Yeah. 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 The first report for the ARPA funds has already come upon us, and it was the 31st of August. So I talked with the CPA, and I. We will be getting into the Treasury portal that is designed, and all that will take place Tuesday, and we'll get caught up on that as well, along with the assistant chief. So also look forward to having some public meetings, even if it's by virtual, some meetings that will begin to design an overall plan, even though we're going to be busy with distribution. We want to design an overall plan of where the nation wants to do with internal infrastructure and what our priorities are, as well as, and I know several bands have sent in different things over the course of several months, several different items. But we want to have that discussion, and we want to prioritize. We want to take care of, I would hope, some health disparities that we face as a people. I would like to see this Miccosukee Mission become a place that we feel like we can all come to one day when COVID's over and we enjoy it. And we have recreation, we have reunions, we have the amenities to have it. We can do some things of that nature, possibly, and it's all up to you as we begin to develop this plan. So talk to your people, your band members, and see where we're going to go as far as infrastructure is concerned. Obviously, water and waste management is within the act, and that's one thing that the band chiefs have discussed at length about. Representative Cootie, and then Representative Harjo, did you have your hand up? No, Representative Cootie. I'm going to tell y'all something on Representative Harjo in a minute. It's just really humorous. It's really funny. Representative Watkins.
Most know me by the name Chauncey. So please call me Chauncey. And I want to thank everybody for being here.
Turn the mic towards you. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Something came up at our band meeting that really concerns me, and that is the vaccination. That it was reported to us that 1 in 5 members from our Indian Health facility in Wewoka has only been vaccinated in our county. So that's disturbing because, you know, that affects our elderly and our young people. So, you know, with this COVID that's going around, you know, we need to be talking to everybody to get vaccinated. So with everybody listening in and stuff, you know, we need to be an advocate to try to get our people vaccinated. So, you know, please do what you can to get our children vaccinated and our elderly people.
Thank you, Ms. Representative Watkins, for that announcement. I do want to say that I do have plans for both Assistant Chief and myself to do some videos to promote vaccinations, as well as to encourage people to get the vaccination. It's up to them. We realize that, but we will be encouraging people to do that. I think it makes good presence when they see leadership, you know, doing such things, and we're gonna do more to try to protect the health of our people in a lot of different areas, not just because of COVID. Representative Harjo.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just wanted to really quickly also offer a suggestion for moving forward. There are 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 Harjos out here. So Representative Harjo, if you could actually let us, because as soon as you said Representative Harjo a while ago, I was swatting a fly and I was like, wait, that wasn't me. And you were talking to Representative Harjo.
Yeah, I can name the band after
Yeah,
that.
it might help just because I'm not always looking at you.
I usually call the band, it has been when I chaired as assistant chief. I'm going to close with this if there's no further discussion or announcements. And I was talking about Representative Hartsell. It was my first term I came in as the assistant chief, and it was Seminole Nation days. And she was working as security, letting folks in that gate. And I didn't have my VIP pass, that they give you to hang from your mirror. And I was coming in, and things were fixing to get started on the stage, and needing to get parked. And she says to me, she said, well, where's your pass? And I said, I don't have one. She said, you're going to have to go park across the field over there. And I said, but I'm the assistant chief of the Seminole Nation. She says, we got a lot of chiefs today, she said. But I remember somebody's taking a sprint. I'm trying to remember who it was, but they were sprinting as fast as they could across that field. Let him in, let him in. And he got to me. He said, let him in. He's the assistant chief. And I said, no, she's doing her job. I said, I'm the one that didn't have my VIP pass. I'm going to go park across the road. And I did, didn't I? I sure did. I sure did. Assistant Chief Palmer. I want you to know, as a general counsel and as members of the Seminole Nation, that Assistant Chief and I are going to work closely together for the well-being, the prosperity, health, everything that there is wrapped in what we're commissioned to do as officers of this tribe. And there was a lot of good candidates for Assistant Chief this year, and they did so well. And of course, Brian made it to the runoff and he won. And as chiefs too, there was several good candidates. We have one sitting on the council right now. But I want you to know, somebody said, I heard a rumor that y'all's already having a confrontation. That rumor is false. So you folks on Facebook, you heard it from me. That rumor is false. We're going to work together very closely. And he is Miko Bukta. He is the twin. He's the double. He's the assistant chief of the Seminole Nation. And we have the same executive authority according to the Constitution of the Seminole Nation. So we're going to work together as you and I are going to work together for the betterment of our people. Okay. Would you like to close us in prayer today? Representative Pittman?
Thank you, Mr. Chief. I just wanted to make this announcement. You, as Chief of the Seminole Nation and Assistant Chief, will be invited to the Oklahoma State Capitol on September 21st. It's a Tuesday. It's International Peace Day. And the both of you will be honored by the Federation, the Universal Federation of Peace and the ACLC. So that invitation is on its way to you both. But
Thank you for that. If there's no other business, we're going to stand for prayer.
Move to recess.
Yeah, adjourn.
Call for recess.
Yeah, you call for recess?
Not adjournment.
You call for recess of this meeting here?
Yes, sir.
State your point for a recess.
Just a recess to the next special call.
Yeah. This is not a special call meeting here.
I said recess to the next special call, which you set for later in September.
That is at the option of the chief constitutionally to call a special call meeting. We can do a recess, but this is a regular meeting that we're now standing in.
I understand that.
Okay. He calls for a recess. He's not calling for an adjournment. So recess is up for what the count. Okay, there's a motion to adjourn. There's a second. Secretary, you need to call the roll on adjournment. And then we're going to have prayer.
Leota Sampson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley. Anthony Conley. John Narkamy,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman, Terry Edwards, Terry Edwards, I can't hear anything.
Yes. Yes, he's saying yes.
Okay. Nancy Fixico, Ida Gonzalez,
Yes. Nancy's out of her seat.
Tamara Downey,
Yes.
Leon Petit,
Yes.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Dolores Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright,
Yes.
Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Yes.
Sienna Yesleth,
Yes.
Yes.
Lottie Cootie,
Yes.
Andrea Scraper,
Yes.
Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
No.
Gregory Botaw,
No.
Catherine McCoy, Charlie Hill, Tiffany Cully,
Yes.
Danita Harjo,
Yes.
Willis Etheridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
I have a count of 22 yes, 2 no, 0 abstentions.
Okay. Brian's going to close with prayer and we'll be adjourned.
Thank you.
Heavenly Father, as we gather here today, I ask that you continue to bless us, continue to guide us down your lighted path, continue to allow us to do what we're supposed to do for the Seminole Nation, be leaders for the Seminole Nation, and care for each and every one of us that's here. Provide for us shelter, provide for us blessings, provide for those that are suffering through this pandemic. Give us safe travel as we travel home, safe passage through our daily lives. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Well, and I just want to acknowledge something. I know I had some folks that came all the way from Alabama that I've known for about 20 years and Colorado as well. So let's let them know that we welcome them to the Seminole Nation.